Hello everybody, welcome to Brown POV, and this is your host, Uli, aka your boy TGB. Before I get into the topic at hand today, what is Brown POV and why did I start this channel and what is the whole point of it? So, the whole reason for Brown Point of View is that any topic that we're going to discuss on this channel, it will be seen through a brown point of view. What do I mean by a brown point of view? Well, you could be seeing it from a Mexican's perspective, from a Latino's perspective, or from an indigenous perspective. Either way, you're going to get it from a brown person of the Western Hemisphere. You're going to get it from that person's perspective. That being said, we're going to be diving into a lot of topics, whether that be... Is this thing working? We're going to be diving into a lot of topics, whether that be entertainment, pop culture, current events. If it's politics, we'll dive into some of that only if it's necessary. If it involves us, I will be diving into it. A channel like mine needed to be made because what I'm about to bring up, a lot of this stuff, it needs to be brought up. It needs to be said. There's not enough people who view it from this lens, and I want to go ahead and give everybody the point of view that we have, and that is the whole point for this channel. Also, podcast coming soon. We're testing this right now with videos first because this is originally a podcast concept idea. I plan to turn this into a podcast soon, but right now I'm giving videos a shot, and yeah, that's what we're doing. Bad Bunny Super Bowl. This happened last week. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something, and I never thought I would get political on the first video of the channel, but fuck it. It is what it is.
No, we'll do it live. Fuck it.
So, I'm gonna be straight up blunt with you guys. I do not watch the Super Bowl. I do not listen to Bad Bunny. But none of this needed to be as political as it was. If it didn't become that way, I would have minded my business. But the fact that there's a lot of people, especially Turning Point USA, that made this more than what it needed to be, I'm going to choose a side. And to be honest, like, what Turning Point USA did was not only petty and immature, but it's just distasteful. Like, you could tell with that show, they planned to step on toes. If you don't think so, I think you're kidding yourself out of that. Bad Bunny in the Super Bowl. Why is this so powerful? Well, he is the first Latino artist to headline in the Super Bowl halftime show. He performed almost entirely in Spanish, if not everything in Spanish, and the show drew over an estimate of 120 mil, 130 mil, somewhere around that range. And guess what? When people found out that he got chosen to be performing at the halftime show at the NFL, people were upset. People made petitions. People complained so much online for something that only needed to be 15 minutes at best. And then Turning Point USA comes along and decides to spend a whole lot of money on a venue, artists, just to waste a lot of time in general for something that's 15 minutes in protest against Bad Bunny.
I just want to catch my fish, drive my truck, drink my beer.
And you want to know what the funny thing is? They could not let it be. It's understandable if you don't like that type of music. You know what you could have done? Just simply switch the channel, turn off the TV, go to the kitchen, go outside, do something, bro. Like, you got with commercials included, you got a half hour to just get whatever you want. Get your chips, get your food, go get your shit. What the hell are you doing? But nah, instead everybody had to make it a big deal, like complaining like, oh, Bad Bunny, why did the NFL choose Bad? And like I said, if that's not your cup of tea, that's not your cup of tea. I don't even listen to Bad Bunny like that. Like I said, I don't watch Bad Bunny. I mean, I don't watch the NFL. I don't listen to Bad Bunny like that. But this did not need to be as serious as it was. And you could say that Bad Bunny started it with his Grammy Award speech, but let me tell you this, and this is where the Brown POV comes in. I have a business. I started my own clothing line. It's a designer brand. I plan to increase it and make it bigger. It's called Shapiri. Now, here's the thing about being a business owner, and especially starting up your own business, is that when it comes to politics or anything controversial, the smartest thing a business owner can do is shut the fuck up. But if I'm going to be honest with the way things are going on nowadays, for a Latin American, especially for a Mexican or anyone that has grown up around having family that come from the other side, that are immigrants and like stuck in the middle of like bullshit that like you can't control and you wish you could change, but it's like people are out to get you, people don't like you, people don't want you here. And for someone like me, I've tried to keep my mouth closed about this, but as someone who grew up around that, I can't. I literally can't. See, and here's the thing. Left or right, it doesn't even fucking matter. This isn't just an opinion about a president. This matters so much to us because we're living this shit. We're living this. Permanent changes are being done, and there's no way to go back. Permanent changes are being done to our lives, and people downsize it like there's no issue. I hate it so much when Americans do this shit. You know how many times Americans will downsize something that shouldn't be downsized? They make something that's not their issue, like that is a big issue to someone else, and they turn it into like something small. They'll take your struggle and make it seem like it's nothing. A perfect example to this is the Native Americans and the reservations. Republicans love to preach that America first bullshit. They want to say America first, and everybody. It's sad what's going on around the world, and they wish they could give aid to everyone else, but it needs to be America first. While so many people are saying that, though, there's many people in their backyard that they're not paying attention to. I saw a documentary, I think is on Lakota Sioux in South Dakota, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. Throughout the documentary, they say the average lifespan of these people is at 47. When you go to this reservation, it's bad, bro. It's bad. There's a better way to say all this. Let me pull it up here. So one time I was scrolling on a YouTube short, right, and it summed up what I'm just talking about right now so perfectly. And I had to screenshot this comment just to tell you all. This man said, a prison guard once spoke about how you shouldn't badmouth prisoners. At the end of your shift, you go home. You see your family. You forget about work. That inmate has nothing to do but to think about what you did and what they want to do to you. If you're going to make enemies, it's probably best to not pick on these ones. So it'll baffle me whenever a lot of Americans will say that, oh, Native Americans, they live and breathe their culture is their personality. But if you take a look at the shit that they're in, the reservation that they're in, and like some reservations are all right, some are just downright worse than ghettos, and you don't think that they're gonna think about the reason that they won't think about the reason of how they got there. They're gonna think about it all the time. They're gonna think about colonization all the time, because they're gonna think about like, how did my people end up in this position? We're in a reservation. How did that happen? Meanwhile, a lot of Americans are going through first world problems, and they don't think about that shit. They've already, like, a lot of you guys, let's face it, a lot of you guys are way past that. You wake up, go to work, you get your shit done, go home, see your wife and kids, or see your family, your parents, whatever. Eat, shit, sleep, repeat. And you don't have to think about that shit. You probably think about small little problems like, how am I gonna get this bill paid? Or, well, what am I gonna do this weekend? Or how am I gonna, like, none of that shit is in your head. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. That's what I mean when a lot of people, they want to downsize problems. And it's the same thing with this whole illegal immigrant situation. There's a story about a little girl with cancer whose father was deported, or detained by ICE, I should say, and she recently passed away. I saw this post and I had to include this in this video because it very much gives into the brown perspective and what we have to live on a day-to-day basis, the type of reality that we go through that many people want to ignore on purpose, that many people want to act like it isn't a reality, that people want to just like say, oh, well, that's not our problem. A little boy named Liam, who was detained by ICE, and his father was also detained by ICE. His father got deported. This is a 6-year-old little boy. He is in kindergarten. This boy cannot comprehend what politics are. He doesn't, like, He doesn't know none of that stuff. A kid shouldn't be thinking about that. And you know what's crazy? A lot of us, we get told at a very early age by our parents that, hey, there's a reason why we avoid police. There's a reason why we don't answer calls. There's a reason why we don't open the door when someone we don't know is knocking on it. There's a reason why we don't go out of state. There's a reason why we don't fly on airlines. There's a reason why we haven't been to our homeland in years. And you cannot tell any of your friends about it. You cannot tell anyone else about it because we can get in trouble and they could take us away and we will never see you again. But these are the reasons why, and we're telling you right now. As a little kid, we love our parents, we love our families, we love our cousins, our uncles, our aunts, or whatever. We know what's going on at such a very early age, and we go with it. We go with the flow. We do whatever we can to let the family stick together. A lot of people don't give a shit about that. There's so many of these people that are so thick-headed that they don't want to hear none of that. They're just like, no, oops, sorry, no, you gotta come in the right way. Well, then no one can speak to you. Now that I give you a perspective of what the hell we've been going through, this is the reason why I ended up supporting Bad Bunny last week on the Super Bowl halftime show. I did not watch the game. No, I'm not, like, even when I was a football fan like that, I wasn't a fan of the Seahawks, or I already forgot who they played against. I was in it only for the halftime show, because I know Turning Point USA made their little halftime show, and I knew, like, I already predicted that they were gonna brag about the views or whatever. Like, I'm like, you know what? Bad Bunny showed support, even though Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. It's also a part of the Americas. It's also one with the Western Hemisphere. And Bad Bunny never forgot where he came from, and he showed support to every country in the Western Hemisphere. That's why he flew all the flags at the end of the show. There's so much significant meaning in that show. Pretty much saying, we're all in this together. We're all in the same boat. Now, you know what's crazy? Even after the whole thing, it's like, you know, if you don't like his music, cool. Turn off your TV or go watch Turning Point. And if you watch Turning Point, great. You had a halftime show to enjoy, because someone made a big enough deal like you did to create their own little fake halftime show so that you could enjoy it. There. Now, no complaining should happen, right? Wrong. There was political calls for investigation from some Republicans saying that Bad Bunny broke a lot of the rules and they were trying to get him into some legal trouble. Let's see, I got it pulled up right here. It says, GOP lawmaker calls for probe into NFL and NBC over indecent Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show. Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show was divisive before it even started, with many conservatives criticizing the Puerto Rican singer's political outspokenness, including condemning immigration and customs enforcement last week at the Grammy Awards, where he took home a prize of the Album of the Year. But while many fans lauded the Latin hitmaker's 13-minute set on Sunday, despite President Donald Trump calling it absolutely terrible and an affront to the greatness of America, one Republican critic is taking his offense to another level. And that cannot be more truer. You know what the funny thing is? The FCC looked into it and said 0 laws were broken. So whoever that congressman is, not only was he wrong for calling an investigation on Bad Bunny, he also looked like an idiot because they found nothing. My thing is, like, how could you be so petty? You got your own halftime show. What the fuck else do you want? But this is the angle. This is the angle right here. Is Spanish the thing that triggers people? Why are Puerto Ricans questioned as Americans? Is this about language or power? And what does it mean for the brown children watching? Well, Bad Bunny handled it admirably. There's so many people that were trying to call out, oh, he's gonna wear a skirt, he's gonna be in drag, he's gonna be in makeup, this, that, and the third. No one expected for him to have the type of show he did. And a lot of people, meanwhile, they were complaining about, like, oh, well, it's in Spanish, I can't understand a thing. I can't understand a thing. Bro, you know how many times I went to a club or to a bar or to a house party where they played Bad Bunny at least 2-3 times that in that single place? No one understands the music, but everybody's fucking vibing to it. And I promise you, the best house parties, they're gonna have Bad Bunny in the role of music that they're playing. If you love Latina baddies, they're gonna be in there singing the song word for word. I can't tell you how many times I heard Otra Noche en Miami, Titi Me Preguntó, or any of his other songs in a freaking house party and girls sing it word for word. My point is, those are just club songs. You really did not need to understand the music. He knew a lot of people were not going to understand it. What you would want to see is what he did with the show itself. The significance of everything. And a lot of ignorant and arrogant people ignored all that and went straight for the, oh, well, I couldn't understand a thing. Bro, just watch the fucking show. Just watch the show. There's so much significance he put in Puerto Rican life. I think the little house that was there in the beginning was his house growing up or something like that. When he gave the little boy the Grammy Award, a lot of people were assuming that was Liam, the boy who got detained by ICE with his father. But it was really him giving his Grammy to a younger version of himself, watching himself on TV, as in to say that, like, you know, I started from like humble beginnings. I was a kid with a dream. Now I've made it. I knew as soon as I seen that. Nevertheless, I think it was an excellent show. Now, do I agree with a lot of what Bad Bunny does? No. And honestly, I didn't expect for this show to be the way it did. But hey, I'm glad he did it this way because he brought notice to a lot of things. And it was really risky, to say the least. There's a reason why so many people don't jump into politics. But for many of us, especially those of us who are brown, for those of us who are Latin American, for those of us who are from these lands, a lot of the times we can't just shut the fuck up. We have to say something. We have to speak out about it. And a lot of people think that getting deported and sent back to their country is just like a walk in the park. No, bro. So many Americans think that many immigrants bring trouble. No, they run away from it. There's so much trouble from these countries that a lot of these people, they get away from and then they go back. You know, having family from the motherland, I hear stories of people that get deported and let's just say criminal organizations that have a problem with these certain people will be waiting for them when they get back. That's the type of scary reality that a lot of people have to go through, whether you're from the Dominican Republic, Cuba, Mexico, Central America, or hell, even like the South American countries like Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, whatever the case may be. That's the sad reality of what a lot of us have to go through. A lot of us have too much to lose. Final thoughts. Bad Bunny's halftime show was great. He showed diversity, history in his country, unity between all countries in the Western Hemisphere, and at the end of the day, he didn't slander anyone or any American or any political party. He showed love. And that was the message at the end, was that the only way to fight hate is with love. Meanwhile, Turning Point USA, the TPUSA show was nothing more than pure patriotism and a political taunt. And I know there's going to be so many people that get mad at what I say or hate what I'm saying in this video. That's completely fine. I'm not out here trying to get love from everyone. This is the Brown POV channel. Whose side do you think I'm on? Even though I'm part of the crowd that thinks protests sort of do nothing, if you get enough people to protest, like with the ICE protests, a lot of people have been doing this around the country. You bring enough notice. Changes may not be made, but you're gonna attract a lot of attention. And that is the whole reason for a protest anyway. You want to get more attention. It'd be useless if there was only one protest in one town and maybe like the Midwest or something, whatever. But these protests have been in all sides of the country. In my city, not only did we have different cities protests, but even middle schools and high schooler kids were protesting. And a lot of people want to say, well, why are they protesting? They have no idea. Like, shut the fuck up. Like I said, a lot of us who come from family members who were immigrants or who are immigrants, We get told at such a very young age, and it's not hard to understand that, hey, if these certain people come by, they take these people away, and then you will never see them again. They don't care if you love your family. They don't care if they're good people. They're gonna take them no matter what. Like, a lot of people underestimate the fuck out of it, like people who are young. But anyway, that is what I think. That is my Brown POV. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Also, drop a like in this video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel. Podcast will be coming soon. Until the next episode.